recording and start. Okay, we're recording. Everything's all buttons are green. All right. Here goes. It begins in 3, 2, 1.
Come on. Let's see what you've got.
Master of the Iron Fist? Show me. So, that was Kunlun's power.
You will feel the pain of the Satsui no Hado!
I will surpass the Satsui no Hado! I knew your teachings were false.
There are no commercials for these guys.
I was about to say, it doesn't sound like they were even in the same room having a conversation.
They did not. Hey, everybody, welcome. Oh, that didn't work. That's the wrong button. Hold on a moment. Oh,
Make
all
it
right,
louder.
there it is.
Crank it
Jeez.
higher.
That didn't work at all. We are back here with Play Retro. Welcome back to Play Retro. I'm one of your hosts, Scott Johnson. And what I love about Street Fighter is knowing that no one in this game will be able to jump 300 feet in the air before they come crashing down on me and wreck me after about 3 rounds in a row. Oh, wait. How are you doing that, Wolverine?
Damn you, Wolverine, and your metal skeleton. And I'm your other host, Brian Dunaway. And down and quarter circle forward and punch. Nope. Down and quarter circle forward and punch. What the hell? Quarter circle punch and Hadouken.
Yeah.
Suck my projected willpower energy balls, Magneto. That's it. Suck them. Hadouken. Oh, hi, Cammy. Oh, hi, Cammy.
Is Cammy in the? I played.
She
it
was
today.
in the first one we're going to talk about this week. She did not make it back to the second one because
that's why.
Yeah, they wanted to make more superpower stuff, so they brought in a superhero character like Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon.
But Cammy got her start.
Yeah.
She got a start here on this show. The thing we're talking about today, she got her start in that series.
She came before the Street Fighter 2 Turbo deal.
No, she came. She was a new character, from my understanding. The documentary I watched, she was a new character for X-Men v Street Fighter,
What?
the arcade game.
That's crazy to me. I did not know this.
Yeah,
My mind
And if
is
I'm wrong,
blown.
call me on it. But from what I remember,
I
that is
swear
correct.
Cammy was in Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but didn't that precede all this? Or am I smoking the crack? I might be smoking
Who
the
knows?
crack.
Like I said, I watched. Let me give my sources first before anybody wrecks me. There's a really cool dude called Top Hat Gaming on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he's got a really good 3-part series, or actually more than that, I think, on the history of this game. So either I heard him wrong or he was wrong. But I definitely remember that being the thing, because Cammy got replaced in part 2, and people are like, "What?
Where's
Where did
Cammy?
Cammy go?
Okay,
She was just made for this."
I found the definitive. Here it is.
All right.
Cammy, also known as Killer Bee, that was her code name.
Oh.
Is a fictional character in the Street Fighter fighting series created by Capcom. She debuted in 1993 as one of 4 new characters for Street Fighter 2 Super Street Fighter 2, The New Challengers.
Then consider me a liar. Maybe it was the other way around. Maybe it was the other character that got introduced there.
She was
that
also
Sailor
in
Moon
Street
character.
Fighter Alpha games. She was one of M. Bison's deadly assistants. She was in the animated movie, and then it says as well. She's been featured in various comics and merchandise, as well as the crossover series Marvel vs. Capcom and SNK vs. Capcom. Cammy has garnered positive critical reception from critics and fans who like her tight little undie pants.
I was about to say, for what? For the little bitty tight onesie she wears?
Yep. I'm afraid you're
Don't
correct.
get me wrong. I love Cammy. I think she's fun, and I think she's a badass, but there's not much argument for that outfit she's wearing.
I think Cammy is hard to cosplay. I'll just say that.
Oh, yeah, I think so, especially me and you. Whew.
I just mean like Cammy is unrealistic, okay?
Yeah, in every form possible. All the characters. Have you seen these characters?
Yeah, Chun-Li, her legs are impossible.
Right.
I've never seen a sumo fighter as strongly built, as ripped and shredded as E Honda.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And what even is what's the little green guy? What's his name?
Oh yeah, is that the no? It's not Dollyism.
No.
Is it?
Dollyism.
No, that's the one. Dollyism. You got that guy, and then you got Zangief. Zangief has always been one of my favorites, and he's totally unrealistic. He's got muscles on top of muscles that don't exist.
Look, you say Dollyism, I say Dalseem. It is what it is.
No, Dollyism.
You like Dollyism? I think that's great. Let's never call it anything.
That's the way I always read it.
Nothing wrong with that.
In the lobby of the Kmart
Yeah.
where I used to go play this because he does. He's the one that does the crossed legs, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the one who
Yeah,
does
he
it?
floats. He floats, and his arms are long, and his legs are long.
Yeah, and in my teenage years, that made sense in my head. So
yeah, no, of course, Dollyism.
Yeah, and he'll always be Dollyism to me, whatever you call it.
I'm gonna join.
It's doll sim though, right? That's how you say it.
I'm gonna convert to Dollyism. Yeah. That's my new religion.
Should.
So anyway, we got a lot to say about the Marvel characters and their various games versus the Capcom characters, or in this in the early cases, just X-Men and Street Fighter. But it would evolve and change, and we're going to talk about all that stuff in a second. But before we do, I went on a bit of a Japanese RPG run that's finally maybe simmering down a little as I settled into what I want to actually play. But for whatever reason, I got it all up my butt that I wanted to play some old JRPGs. I'm in the mood for some turn-based gameplay. I'm in the mood for some retro graphics. So I've tried everything from Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy VII. I'm actually pretty deep into that game. I played a lot of hours of it. Dragon Quest 6 and 11, for that matter, the new one. And a whole bunch more, a whole bunch of stuff. But it's especially because that PS1 emulation on the Ambernick's very good. And I've been playing a lot more of the PlayStation 1 Ambernick, or the PlayStation 1 Japanese RPGs. Whereas when they were new, I hated that genre. Truly hated it. I wasn't into it. My life was all about real time. Forget your turn-based. I don't want no anime bullshit in my life. Like all of that. I had all of these attitudes about it, right?
Right.
But I got an itch for it now, and I don't know what the deal is. I know what the deal is. I just, whatever. This happens in games. I turn around on a genre. Maybe one day tower defense won't put me off the way it does. I don't.
Oh man, the day that happens, I will be stoked. I've tried for years to get just the right formula of tower defense that might please Scott, because I'm not a big tower defense fan, but I'll defend it in some cases.
Yeah, of course you will. I mean,
Bloons. Bloons is a killer waste time game.
Sure. What's that one that's very popular? Battle. I don't remember the name. That's a really popular.
How do you spell that?
One on mobile and other stuff. I can't remember the name of it. But anyway,
battle what you.
Here's what I've settled on. I'm gonna finish Final Fantasy VII at some point.
Yeah,
I'm well into it.
I got to do that. It's on my list.
Dragon Quest 6 is definitely a must play. I'm gonna play that. That's a SNES game, and one of the later ones, and it's beautiful on there. And the music's so good. I think I did it last week for my Guess My Game, didn't I? I think we did. Anyway, and then, excuse me, the other one I've settled on. I am going to finally play Chrono Trigger, what is considered to be possibly the greatest JRPG of all time.
When you if I don't want you to hold off on Chrono Trigger, but it was a toss up for next week for me for the games that we had discussed about doing. And I would like an opportunity to go through the whole Chrono Trigger. But I want to take a long, leisurely stroll. It's one of those ones that people have asked us to play a lot. And
yeah,
I'd like to
and it's one that I didn't play in the day.
Due time.
Everyone I've talked to loves it and says it's the greatest they ever made. And I want to know firsthand. I want to know. I want to learn.
I want to know.
So I'm going to finally play Chrono Trigger. And I think Chrono Cross after, because as much as people were pissed the characters didn't carry through those games, Chrono Cross.
Now, that was on the Sega. Was that on
PS1?
The
PS1.
Okay.
And
I thought it also made it to the Saturn.
Oh, it might have made it to Saturn. If it did, I might look for that version. I'll bet it runs well. It's not 2D though; it's shitty 3D.
But we got to see Scott's Sega Saturn that he got this past week.
Yeah,
catch that
it's right over there, sitting somewhere. I can't remember where I put it. Oh, over there. It's dark
with his 4 megabyte card.
Yeah, dude. I still have. Still got that 3-button controller. Oh, I got one with it, but I also had one already. Now I got to place.
You need a 6-button if you're going to be playing.
That's what I meant. 6
fighter games.
I meant 6. Yeah, they only did 6 for the Saturn. Saturn was always 6 from.
No, I did. What's it? I think you're right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
you
nailed it.
They just had their weird. Saturn had the 6-button controller, which was awesome, and they had their weird potato-shaped freaking Knights.
Which we all wanted to play with the Knights into Dreams.
Yep. So you got your. That was my first experience with an analog stick of any kind.
Yeah,
was that device until the N64 came and kind of.
What was your thought when you touched that analog stick?
It warmed the cockles of my heart when I touched it. Yeah, my cockles are still slightly
cockles in your heart.
Well, I'm going to the doctor on Friday. He's going to check my cockles, see how they're doing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I got up to. Did you do anything fun? You played that Game Boy Grimace game. How is that thing?
Yes. So if you don't know, a Grimace from McDonald's, that big purple taste bud or whatever his emotion, he's celebrating his 40th? I don't know. Anyway, he's celebrating
52nd birthday. 52nd.
What a weird year to pick. 52nd birthday. You can get a Happy Meal, one of those expensive $13 meals they got at McDonald's. You can get a berry shake that is Grimace colored. Anyway, a third party company released a video game with the grace apparently of McDonald's for the Game Boy Color. That's right. You can play if you go to Grimace. I think is it Grimace's birthday? There's a grimacesbirthday.com. If you look it up, video game, Game Boy Color, you can load it up. You could actually buy this card and put it in your Game Boy Color and play it. I didn't do that. I used my Amber Nick and I loaded up the ROM, which you can download and get easily off their website. And I played all the way through. It's a really fun, short Game Boy Color game, but it has all the spirit of a Game Boy Color game. It is amazing. It's called Cruel Tools.
What a weird thing to do, though, right? And they put the ROM. Yeah. They actually posted the ROM on archive.org. The actual McDonald's organization did. They want you to play this dumb thing. You know? They
do, and it's funny because they've got comments in there while these people were developing it. They got comments from Twitter. This kind of subversive in the way that they're stated. So it's got this real modern edge to it. And I was like, wow, McDonald's said this was all right. Okay, whatever, bruh.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. The homebrew scene has really blown up in the last couple of years. I'm assuming, I haven't looked into this. I'm assuming that in the browser they're using there's some web applications that allow you to run Game Boy games in a browser. I'm assuming that's what they did, and they just developed it flat out for the Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
And then they using this emulation to run it through a browser, and it's a lot of fun. Grimace is basic story. Grimace is having his own birthday party at McDonald's, of course.
Of course he is.
He's throwing his own party.
That's why he looks that way, by the way. When all you do is eat McDonald's food, you look like a big purple shit.
Right. The Hamburglar, Birdie, the Nuggies, the Nugget gang, wherever they are, the Happy Meal gang.
Is Mayor McCheese involved at all? Or is he gone?
No show up of Mayor McCheese. We talked about this pre-show.
I love Mayor McCheese. They got rid of him in '85, and I missed it somehow. I freaking love that guy.
He's out of this loop. Anyway, you're collecting shakes along the way and trying to locate everybody. Birdie's trapped in some kind of wire or something, so you had to get her. She's a bird on a wire. And it's all platforming, side-scrolling platforming stuff. You're riding a skateboard when you start out. You got your nice little Grimace hat on. It's hilarious, and it is fun. That's the main thing. It's fun, and it's built so smartly because it's one of those side-scrolling platformers where if you take your time, you can play it that way, or if you find the rhythm, you could speed run the mother out of this thing.
Yeah.
So it is well designed. What was it? Cruel Toys. Is that the name of the company again, or the developer that did it again? I think that was with a KROOL. Cruel Toys. Yeah. .com. That's their thing. They got junk merchandise on there, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I like a little junk.
But I'm telling you, the scene, the homebrew scene is blowed up recently. Yep. People wanting to develop for these platforms that basically no longer exist, but we got emulators that can run them. So why not tap into that?
Why not tap into it? Exactly. There's nothing wrong with this. Like first of all, the emulators are legal. Second of all, the ROM that you might just make some aftermarket freaking homebrew thing and put it out there. That's totally legal too. If you got homebrew out there and you want us to try it, please send it in. I'll play it.
I'll play your homebrew crap.
Yeah, I played a crappy homebrew game about mowing lawns on an NES that was actually fun. I'll do that again. Send more.
Yeah.
Please send
I'll tell you who's awesome. The Atari Age guys are always, if you go to that website, there's always some homebrew stuff coming out on carts.
The unfortunate part of that is Atari sucks, and I don't want to play that.
I will not say Atari sucks there.
I'll say the 2600 sucks. How about that? I do believe that.
I will not say the 2600 sucks either.
It was a piece of poop. It was a stepping stone toward where we are now, but I still think it was poop.
I will allow you to say that it was a simpler time.
Well, anyway, so there you go. Purple blobs and JRPGs. What else can you ask for? I know.
Grimace's birthday, highly recommend.
Yeah, go get it. But also this.
Shall we play a game?
As you gays and guys, whoever, I don't care who hears this. If you remember properly, back in the 80s and 90s, there was quite the relationship between Capcom USA and Japan and American mega corporation Walt Disney. They made a bunch of Walt Disney games, right? Disney stuff. Well, they also had a deal with Marvel Publishers Group, or whatever they were called then, to do Marvel shit. And that stuff was mostly in the 90s. And this is all before the situation we live in now where Marvel owns all of it. I'm shocked they don't own Capcom at this point, but they don't. But anyway,
I am curious about that aspect because I hadn't thought much about it until you mentioned it before show that Disney, had done a lot with it. I'm like, you're right. And I'm like, you know what? One of the reasons I'm not sure if Capcom already had amazing artists on staff and that's why they secured these contracts, or they hired these artists because they got these contracts.
Right. It's
I'm not sure which
possible.
way, but
yeah, I don't know which way it went either.
Yeah, late 90s or mid 90s, late 90s of Capcom artist stuff, man, is just phenomenal, and we see it so much this week in these Marvel Street Fighter Capcom games.
Marvel versus Capcom is a renowned crossover. These guys did this for years. Basically, it's Marvel Comics characters against Capcom video game characters, although in the beginning it started out as just X-Men versus just Street Fighter, but eventually would blow out to be basically a version of Super Smash Brothers Capcom style. It was everybody that they had, so you had Mega Man out there and every other character under the sun that Capcom's responsible for. I think Jill, my favorite was Jill Valentine from Resident Evil 1. I like playing her. And then you are versus everything Marvel had to throw at it. And they became extremely popular as sort of offshoots of the mainline Street Fighter games. Now, what's funny about that is the Street Fighter games, a lot more grounded than any of these. These are all so over the top. And when I was saying in my intro about being able to jump up 300 feet in the air, I'm not kidding. Like,
yeah,
it's insane the kind of verticality those games support. But we're going to talk first about X-Men versus Street Fighter, the 2D arcade game. And here's a little sound from it. You're going to notice a theme today, Brian, between all of our sound selections. And it's some of the coolest shit I've ever heard in my life. And you'll hear it when you hear it, but here's that. Okay, give it a sec. You're going to hear the best part. It's coming up. As it fades out a little.
X-Men versus Street Fighter!
Yes!
Street Fighter!
Okay, that's really important right there.
Yes.
This guy here.
Welcome to the adventure!
That's not this game, but they keep doing this through this whole series. There is this intro thing where they show a little demo of them fighting. Usually they're like, come enjoy the favorite thing you've ever done. And this voice talking the whole time. And then at the end, he's going, Street Fighter.
You're absolutely right. If you, especially the Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter, the first intro to that is everything you need to know about the game. And I thought you was going to capture that for your intro because we had a little more trouble getting commercials, obviously, because this is arcade stuff usually wasn't highly marketable as far as to go, putting commercials up. But yeah, you're right. And I love that guy. And I played this on my Mr. FPGA. We've talked about it in the past. It's that hardware emulator. It's a little box. It's usually good up to like the 32-bit era stuff. And it does a lot of really cool arcade games, including Capcom System 2 boards, which these were based on. And it has the hackers who ripped these ROMs because they were encrypted. They included this amazing jukebox option under the debug mode. So you can go into debug mode in this thing and you can play every one of these little audio files, the music. So I was just DJ Dunaway last night, just
DJ Dunaway.
Cranking it up. I was having a
these
good
are
time.
Beautifully animated games. Huge jump over the board one stuff that the Street Fighter stuff was based on, the original Street Fighter 2.
Oh yeah.
And just even idle animations and walking animations. Like this was the era where I started to go, oh shit, look how cool you can do stuff with, like Neo Geo was doing a bunch of it. Their King of Fighters stuff was also very nice. But this was like my favorite moment, I think, in fighting games, even though this is the moment I'm probably the worst at these fighting games. I'm not great at them.
Oh yeah.
But tag teaming, all that verticality, crazy animation, insane combos. There's a reason why people love these, you know?
Yeah, this was the last time that arcade machines leapfrogged consoles.
Yeah.
And we hadn't seen the arcade had kind of died out late 80s, wasn't really seeing much of it. And then about the mid 90s, it started coming back. And all that great animation you're talking about was going to be a problem for porting these games over to home systems. But man, if you were in the arcade and got to see these things firsthand, they're
so beautiful. And if you played the version, I don't know if it wasn't X-Men, but what was the version the Saturn had that was so freaking good?
Well, they did the one of the probably the peak would have to be the Marvel versus Capcom, the Clash of Superheroes.
Yeah,
it was one of the best. They were all good because all these made it to the Sega Saturn.
Right.
But then we also made it or maybe the Clash of Heroes only came out on the Dreamcast. I'll have to look it up again. The first two definitely came out for the Sega Saturn, and they were phenomenal. And it finally showed. Sega Saturn finally got a win in the US, in the Western market, with being able to prove that it could do 2D sprite based fighting games way better than PlayStation, which was kind of eating everybody's lunch.
Yeah, it was the one showcase for the Saturn. Anytime you had a really animation / timing sort of intensive game. I mean, the Saturn was built to they built that thing to be the next 2D powerhouse, not really anticipating 3D the way it was going to take off.
That was the problem. Everybody else moved on to 3D, and these guys had we had been perfecting 2D pixel art stuff, and this is where we could have went if 3D hadn't have taken off.
It was going to take off, and there was no. I mean, they were
no stopping that.
It was correct. Sony was correct. I hate to say this, but they were right. That being said,
absolutely.
though, if you're going to go back and play some definitive console ports, these rock on that machine. They're so good.
Sega
on the
Saturn is definitely the way to go for these bad
but then
boys.
you're going to go play a 3D game on there. Good luck to you. It's not as fun. It's not as good.
Right. Now, and these, but even the Sega Saturn couldn't handle this by itself. And I think you showed us your Saturn. You asked about that cart that is in the back of.
Yeah, I thought it was for whatever reason, I knew this not to be true because I had it, but I rethought it. After all these years, even though I knew it wasn't true, I rethought it was a Genesis cartridge hole. It's not.
Foolishly, Sega said, "Hey, we need a memory card expansion on this thing. Where should we put it at? Let's put it on the top. Oh, and let's make it the same size and shape as as our previous consoles cartridges." So it really confuses the
let's make that poor decision once again. Let's make a series of poor decisions here at Sega,
right?
And really bum everybody out because that's what they did best. And you were right.
I think
we've been through this history about how Sega Japan, Sega US, I never saw it. It was all very weird.
The Sega Saturn did all right in Japan. We've learned that in our trek this past year, but in America we just couldn't take off. Now. This could have been the winner thing right here, right? This Street Fighter, if it was just a little bit more popular in the US, just a little bit more.
Just a little bit. We're not even talking like a lot more, just a little bit.
A little bit more.
But just look at this stuff, live chat room and people later on looking at the video. Look at this gorgeous piece of business you got going here.
Yeah. And you'd have your 6 buttons on your Sega Saturn for that. And that was all pushed because of the 6-button fighting games off the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, and had the shoulder buttons and all that. I will say something, though, that is going to annoy somebody. I don't care who, but I love these old games. I like modern fighting games.
Oh, absolutely.
Except, I wish they use less buttons. Now, that's going to sound like some old guy who's no longer coordinated enough to play with all shoulders plus 6 buttons or whatever.
Right.
Like, I understand how that sounds, but I wish they were just a little less... I know you can button mash your way to heaven, right? But I want to be able to be good at these without having to be Mr. Memorize 6-button combos. I want to be that guy.
I'm okay with 6 buttons because I played a lot of these on my arcade fight stick this week. And I played some of the Sega Saturn emulation using my Sega Saturn controller. And with 6 face buttons, it's not bad. I think it causes me trouble, and it's always caused me trouble even when I was much younger. When I'm putting force on the front of the controller at the same time as putting downward force on the 4 face buttons on top, it starts getting unwieldy in my hands, you know, and it's not easy to be accurate with it. But, you know, enough muscle memory, you'll get it. But just starting out, it's always a big pain in the butt.
Yeah, of course.
I'm with you.
Absolutely. And I wish, I don't know, I would play them more, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah. If I had a better handle on that, but whatever. I could practice.
And, but the combinations on this one, if you're not familiar, it's like this is not the exact terms. I've seen them listed different ways, but there's like there's a light punch, a medium punch, and a heavy punch, and then there's a light kick, medium kick, and heavy kick.
Yeah,
and
it spreads in between buttons. So you have, like, if you're using a Nintendo controller, your X and your Y are that light punch, heavy punch, and then heavy punch, or no, light punch, medium punch, and then heavy punch is
right
on a trigger.
Yeah.
Or B or something.
And these are all these are about making combo moves, because you've got 8 directions on the joypad or on the joystick.
Yeah.
And you've got a lot of circle movements you can perform, and then a combination of hitting those buttons. And this is a time we're not that far into really figuring out frame buffering. If you don't know what frame buffering is simply put in this context of input controls. If a game is displaying at 60 frames per second, which was the norm, you would have to make your combo move within 1/60th of a second.
Right.
Frame buffer allows you to extend beyond those number of milliseconds to perform it. So it became more, easier to, not necessarily super easy, but easier and more consistent, because humans are not perfect.
No, that's the damn truth. I can tell you that.
Right.
I don't know, there's something about the purity of the first one, this first effort, X-Men versus Street Fighter, that I liked more than the rest. And it's not that I think they probably peaked with the next one, but I don't know. I like the simplified roster. I don't think Mega Man should be in a fighting game. Like, I kind of have problems with when they start expanding into the weird shit. When this was basically the television show, the animated show X-Men, versus this awesome new looking kind of alpha style Street Fighter, I was just like, oh, this is
that's where it all comes from, because we did have that animated cartoon. We had the Pride of the X-Men, then we had the proper 90s version of X-Men. They were having a moment. Street Fighter was having a moment, and they combined these two properties. But I'm with you. Going back, I probably played more of the Marvel versus Capcom in the arcade. I seem like it was the Marvel superheroes I played more of. But anyway, I played X-Men versus Street Fighter the least back in the day. And this time around, I did enjoy the simplicity of this first one.
Yeah, it's just a good fighting game without a lot of bells and whistles. Although it's still, I mean, it's a beautiful game. It runs really well, like all of that.
You could play as Cyclops, Gambit, Juggernaut, Magneto. Why not? Rogue, who's got some great moves. She'll kiss you in the air, and it causes damage. She doesn't take your power. I was kind of disappointed in that. Sabretooth and Storm and Wolverine. You got to pick 2 characters. This was tag team fighting the first time we'd seen in any of the Street Fighter games. You could play. I would always pick Cyclops as my main, and then I would pick Wolverine as my backup, because to me, Cyclops comes in and he has all these blasts. He uses his laser, his Opti-Blast, and it was just a good way to get warmed up. And then by the time I got warmed up, Wolverine could hop in and you just slice and dice, baby. I was not a Street Fighter fan, so I didn't really know much about, Cammy, Chun-Li, Daliism, as I joked earlier, Dalsim, or I knew more about Ken Master. I knew more about Ken and Ryu and Zangief than I knew about just about any, and Bison too. I knew a little bit about him. But
you know what? I just realized what my problem is. My problem isn't that you control it with 6 buttons. It's where they're placed. Give me a flight stick and I'm solid. I'm good.
Right.
Right. So that's what I would probably suggest to people who want to go crazy here. And that FPGA device supports that, correct? You can do full on 6-button fight sticks if you want to.
Absolutely. You can actually plug in the original board that hooks into the console, which, by the way, we could have a whole show on the Capcom System 2 arcade board. It is freaking amazing. It was taking, it was being informed by what we had learned in home console markets with cartridges and stuff. It came as 2 pieces. There was a board, and then there was a cart, essentially, that you would put your game in, so you could swap them out. And that was just freaking amazing. And unfortunately, they did decide when doing that they wanted to protect it, and they had those boards came with an encrypted ROMs, and if the battery died on those things, and they did, you're just gone. The game's gone. You can't remarry it. You can't stick another battery in there and remarry it. It's just the board's see ya. Trash.
Yeah.
Trash.
Yep. I could see that.
So we're lucky that they were able to that we had some hackers, some elite hackers that came in and stole these ROMs for us and put them somewhere safe. Because they certainly wouldn't.
I just found out something. I went to go put a fight stick on my wish list on Amazon.
Yeah,
because I haven't done that in a while, and my wife's still forgetting that she's in the same one as me and putting some really dumb houseware shit in here. No, honey, this is for microphones and fight sticks and consoles.
Dare you?
Yeah,
how dare you put your toiletries in my?
Yeah, can't have that. We can't have that.
Wish list.
It's not allowed. Okay, get your crap together there.
But
dear.
I think you'll enjoy it a lot more because that's what these games are all about. These games are all about learning the combos and shaming your opponent or bragging to your opponent. So I agree with you. Like, I don't feel like modern controllers that we're holding in our hands really do these games justice. And I really didn't start having fun until I started playing with my arcade stick.
Yeah, and the real fun is that. That's it.
Yeah, and learning those combos in that form, it made sense to me.
Yeah,
but trying to learn them on my little, my PS5 controller, I was like, this is shit. Yeah. I was ready to throw it across the room.
Some of these are so damned expensive. I'm looking at a few of them here. I kind of wish.
Oh man, you got it all on screen. The things I love about this game, in addition, is not only is this a 2D fighter, you also get the opportunity to do those big ass fights where the kind of the boss comes out and he's twice as big as you, and all you can do is punch him in the fist. Get him, right? You get him.
Yep.
Hadouken.
Yeah, Hadouken. Yeah, that's the one. Oh wow!
But did you find a good fight stick?
The one I like is the 8-bit do is like a good price and highly rated at the same time. I might get that. That's $89. That's like $100 less than everybody else. Right. It looks like it'll do the trick. It's got some settings and stuff, and 8-bit do makes cool looking sticks.
Oh yeah,
I might consider this. Ooh, it'd be fun for like Turtles games. Oh man.
Oh, the Turtle games are great.
Well, anyway,
and that's that was the last time I'd really played a X-Men game, was the 4-player X-Men games we had talked about previously. And this also, by the way, you can pick up this X-Men Street Fighter games. The 1-Up guys have one of those too, if that's something you're interested in.
Oh, they do.
I wouldn't like to play it that way, but
no, nobody wants that.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to this game. Now, this one, well, let's just play some more sound. This one's really, they went nuts with this, so check it out.
Are you ready, true believers? Capcom and Marvel have joined forces once again to bring you it's Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. Look, spectacular action! Don't miss out on the enjoyment of a lifetime. Behold, amazing fantasy! Don't miss the most amazing tag team fighting game ever! Are you ready for a new challenger? Now, experience Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter! Welcome to the adventure!
Dude, how amazing is that?
That got, I'm in.
I mean, did that draw you in the mall from the hallway into the arcade? Like, did that get you going,
It did, man. If you walked in, this is the reason why I think this is the one that got me. This is one you can't pass by when you're in the arcade. You're like, I got to play this.
You got to play this. And for those that are like, well, what's the difference? Well, this is the entire roster of Marvel. Well, not entire, but many Marvel characters. It also includes many Capcom characters that have nothing to do with Street Fighter, including all the Street Fighter guys.
Right.
And that means there are other fighters and I forgot the character, little JoJo guy. What's his name? There's a little Capcom character. Well, anyway, it's
JoJo.
This game reminds me. This is what Nintendo. I'm going to make an accusation that based on nothing.
Right.
I think Nintendo saw this and said, we're going to make a fighting game with all our characters in it. And we'll even invite a few other odd ones here, like Solid Snake and some other stuff, or Pac-Man. I think this is the basis for what they. Well, I guess that first game came out in like '96, so maybe I'm way off here.
Right.
But I don't know. I get the feeling, maybe it's the other way around. Maybe Capcom was like, well, shit, we should put all these characters together in a big old ass fighting game. I don't know.
Big old butt fighting game. I think I think they were kind of probably surprised with the somewhat moderate success because if you really look at what they have here with this series, it's kind of like they went, oh, we've already kind of got this fighting engine and we've already got everything here. And so they brought over some assets they had from X. So the first one we looked at was assets brought in. A lot of the character stuff was brought in from the X-Men. What is it? The Children of Adam's, the Adam's Children. What is it?
X-Men Adam. Oh wait, what is that? Children.
Right. No. It's wait. I got it. Wait. It's the X-Men Children.
Of the Atom. There you go.
Children of the Atom. Once again, I am on medicine. Apologies. Maybe you didn't know that. I'm on a medicine.
Yeah, he's a sick man. All right.
I am. Yeah, I'm a sick man, and I'm here anyway, and I'm doing the Lord's work. So,
that's right.
Yeah. So they brought in a lot of things from other resources. So they probably looked at it and said, "This is a pretty good idea. We're using we're using a lot of marketable properties, and we're not having to put too much development time in this thing because proof it only took less than a year to come out with this second one. They hit these 3 in a row, by the way. It was 3 years in a row. We had a new Marvel, X-Men, Street Fighter, Capcom thing. So
there was no slowing down. This was like a yearly franchise, and I kind of wondered if they were ever going to quit, to be honest. They did for a long time, but for a long, actually there's I think the new one you can go get is a remake, 3D remake in the engine of Street Fighter 5, I think. Of one of these, and I don't remember which one. 2, maybe.
2. I think you might be right.
I think that's a new game you can play today. But I'm still mostly drawn to this old ass freaking pixel art.
I love this particular one we're talking about right now because they brought in a couple of they expanded it to the Marvel universe in this second one.
Yeah.
And so we replaced a couple of our X-Men, and we bring in Captain America, the Hulk, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I was so stoked about the anime style looking Spider-Man. I remember back when this was out, because we've seen the X-Men characters in being animated again, but we hadn't been seeing a lot of cool Spider-Man stuff at this point, and this was a really sexy Spider-Man.
Yeah, it had been a while since Spider-Man had a proper animated series that was any good.
Right. So he was looking good. We brought back most of the characters like we talked before. No Cammy this time. We brought in this Sailor Moon type character. Who was it? What was her name? Now I've totally forgotten.
Sailor Moon. Not say. Oh, talking about Cammy.
Was it Cammy?
No,
that's not right.
Well, you said that they took out Cammy and put in Sailor
They took out Cammy from the first one.
Oh, okay. I don't know who that is in here then. Some anime lady. I know there's a bunch of stuff from Night Stalkers.
Sakura. That's right. Sakura.
Is Sakura from the Night Stalkers fighting game? Because that's the Capcom thing.
That's a good question.
I'm pretty sure there's Night Stalkers in this.
A new character. Was she? Yeah, she was. She was just based on Sailor Moon, right?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
Right. Like I said, I'm coming in this kind of weak on the Street Fighter side. I've already heard crap from people this week when I was talking about it streaming. Yeah. People going, no, it's Ryu or Ray. What is his name? I always say Ryu. I've said Ryu since the 90s.
I've been saying Ryu. I'll say Ryu when I'm thinking about it, but I'll say, there's Daliism is in this fight now.
The Daliism is like, hey, look, I can't even get Dolly, Doll Sim right. What makes you think I can get Raya?
Don't ever change. Never change. I want it to be Daliism.
Someone's gonna come along and tell me I'm saying Zangief wrong too. I'm sure.
Zangief. I think we're right. I think we're right about it. Yeah, Zangief. Oh, you know what I'd play is a Zangief golf game, like Zangief golf.
Yeah,
I'd play the hell out of that. Oh, I make a hole-in-one. Oh. Anyway, it's a good game. This second one's pretty rad, and probably the one people most fondly think of, I think.
Yeah, and I like this one because it introduces the you can summon the alternate player. So once again, we're back. We're playing tag team. We pick our primary character first. We pick our secondary characters next, and then you can call upon for a variable assist. And when you pull a combo move, and they'll pop out and they'll cause some damage.
And you know who's doing that now? They're calling it a cameo.
Yeah, they're calling it cameos now, so everything informs each other. So Mortal Kombat is now doing
Mortal Kombat
well.
doing the cameos, and they're acting a little bit like they invented it, and it kind of annoyed me because I'm like, I think I did that in the Marvel Street Fighter game.
I don't know now.
I think that's a thing already.
Right, I think that's already been a thing, but okay,
already done it.
So.
Yep, you go ahead. But your fatalities and your whatnot.
But that's not uncommon. Street Fighter has been borrowing from Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat's been they've been stealing for each other for years.
No, they were the rivals, man. They were the arcade rivals anyway. I don't think anybody took Mortal Kombat seriously as like a e-sport level fighting game. It didn't have the skills, the skill cap that this does, or that all the Street Fighter games did, the Capcom games. But they were financial competitors because it didn't matter. Where are you putting quarters? That's what mattered.
Yeah.
And
the casual enjoyment of this game is great for just about everybody. And I think me and you are probably more casual lovers of this game, but then you got your hardcore gamers because you can really get deep into the weeds on this game, just becoming a perfectionist on it. And like you said, just league level destroying people.
I'm still a little annoyed though that the Hulk gets beat by anybody. It's just annoying.
Yeah, that was the problem I had with the first one when I sat down and thought about it. Once I saw Marvel superheroes versus once we get to the next one, because they did introduce at least one Sailor Moon. She's got like superpowers, right? All the rest of these guys are just street fighters. They're just massively pumped. They have the ability. Even some of the characters like Ken, they project their willpower. It's a focusing of willpower. It's not necessarily a superpower like a mutant superpower, right? So all of that's more in the spiritual realm. And you think about, could a spiritual realm type of, forcing someone into something be more powerful than a mutant or something like that, like the Hulk, who is infinitely strong. Oh, we didn't even talk about infinite combos in the first game. They fixed it by this time around. There no infinite combos.
Yeah, that was bad. If you got good at it, you just basically ruined everyone's day. That's all.
Yeah, which was fun if you're at the arcade because that was your reward, right?
Yeah.
If you get defeated in I think the second one, I'm not sure about the first one. If you win your rounds, which is best 2 out of 3 in X-Men versus Street Fighter, you would just get high praise. If you lost, the conceit was you would learn a combo move. A lot of times they would tell you. I'm not sure if they did it in the first one. They almost positive did it in the second one. Yeah. But that's how you would get better. You learn by losing because you couldn't just run to the internet in '97. You could, but it wasn't nearly as simple as it is now. You can just Google search it. You'd have to freaking log into your AOL account and hit Alta Vista, with your Mosaic browser, and it wouldn't be a good experience, and you maybe find what you're looking for.
Yeah, if you're lucky and you're really looking, maybe.
Yeah, or if you bought it, you'd probably be better off buying a magazine. But usually when you're in an arcade, you're not reading about arcade games. You mostly buy magazines for home.
No, but I remember some of these infinite combo kids who would come in there, and he'd be like, 7 years younger.
Such trash. Look at you and your infinite combos.
Yeah.
They fixed that later on, by the way, which is good. That's the
reason
reason why they were using
Take that out of there. Absolutely. Oh,
they can switch them out.
I forgot Captain America can lose his shield. He has to go pick it up again. Weird.
Yeah. Oh, we were going to get to some drops later in the next one too. But this one
had some of that. Yep. Some of it.
How you lose to the freaking Hulk? I'm with you. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, how can the Hulk lose? Hulk can no lose.
Hulk no lose.
Hulk no lose. Hulk just get angrier.
Hulk only win.
Right. Or would this one have palette swaps as well? Because I think in the X-Men versus Street Fighter
did. Now you've got me asking that question. I'm not sure.
Right. They would do palette swaps lots of times so that if you both pick the same character. But
I think you can fight. Oh no, you know what? You're right. Because I'm blue Ryu versus white Ryu is what's happening, or Ryu, whatever.
And it's Ryu, right? It's
Ryu. And then you got Wolverine's and his stupid brown thing versus his yellow blue thing.
I love when Cyclops comes out. And like the first experience I had this past week was X-Men versus Street Fighter, and when Cyclops enters the stage, and he's got, I don't know where he's got his little jacket, and he just like tosses it up in the air, and it's like, oh snap, it's about to go down.
Oh, I love how whoever played this, their initials for the game are KKK. That seems bad.
Perfect.
Maybe don't be doing that.
Perfect. Ken. That's my name.
Ken, triple Ken, baby.
The triple Ken, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
But Wolverine was such a This one was more stylized, and I meant to go back and learn more about the artist. The art was a little more outrageous, even though the gameplay was toned down from the first one. Like those really, really crazy high jumps and stuff you saw in the first one, and those infinite combos and all that kind of stuff. They really worked towards making this a much more balanced fighting game.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if Bingus did these. That was the guy did we talk about during the show, or did we talk about pre-show?
May have been pre-show. Bingus is renowned for his style.
Yeah.
He's not Bingus anymore, though. He's called something else now.
Potato Masher.
Potato Masher? Is that it?
No. That was something with potatoes. I was thinking Gouda cheese, I think, is one of he uses CRMK, Holy Home Runner. And since 2009, he has often gone by the pen name Gouda cheese.
Okay. So he's
love him.
I'm just going to call him awesome and weird at the same time. All right.
Yeah.
He's a little
awesome
weird, but also his awesome artwork. And I want to say, I could be totally wrong, but I thought he had something to do with Blizzard's Overwatch art team. And I don't know what it was. Maybe he just popped in and said, hey, here's some ideas, or maybe there was more of it. He was in inspiration or something, but there was something about him and the Overwatch characters, which you can totally see.
I'll tell you, you couldn't go wrong with getting some. If you were able to pick up one of these guys, one of these artists who were working over at Capcom during that time, you couldn't go wrong. There's some beautiful,
it's amazing,
beautiful art.
Yeah, I love his style. So someone in the chat or someone at home will correct me on this, but there's something about that stuff with Overwatch. Anyway, let's jump ahead to our third in the series, Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes, and here's what that sounded like. Hey, let's hand the microphone over to a girl.
Marvel vs. Capcom. Come on. Marvel vs. Capcom. Marvel vs. Capcom. Go crazy.
I'm curious.
Go crazy. Go crazy.
Now, where did you capture the audio from? Because it makes me feel like somebody was somebody smart enough to do that. Because if you pumped in some coins, like I was doing that on the over the weekend, you could pump in coins and it would start saying stuff like that. Was that just the raw audio?
That was just raw audio right out of the arcade.
That's wild.
Port of the game. Yeah, I play. I didn't edit it or change it or nothing. They were just, what do they call that? There's a track mode. That's what they call that, right?
Oh yeah, this is track mode, but it's definitely spamming that.
Oh, they love
button,
it.
Right?
They freaking love that. Like, it's a Capcom. Here's also what I gained an appreciation for this week that I didn't expect. I used to think the Japanese music direction for arcade games in the 90s was ridiculous and stupid. I was just like, oh, it all sounds the same. It all sounds like Sega made it. Like, it's just, this music is just bad. I'm wrong about that. Yeah. It's awesome, dude.
We've come around.
I have come way around on it. I absolutely freaking love it now, and I'll play it unironically in the background, just for the hell of it. And this game, well, all three of these have amazing soundtracks, real good stuff. Yeah. But it's what just know what you're getting into, right? This isn't going to be some like epic orchestrated whatever. It's just a lot of like it's just over the top.
It's all meant to get you jacked up so that you can button mash like.
Oh, here's Captain Commando. I forgot he was in this.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was Captain Commando. That was Capcom's little mascot thing they did for half a second, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a few like that. He's fighting those Darkstalker. That's a Darkstalker girl he's fighting. We should do a Darkstalkers conversation at some point because a lot of people love that series. I always found it to be a little weird. Yeah, the Strider stuff, all that stuff is we need to talk about all of that. Yeah. But we got Captain America back on the Marvel side, Gambit, Hulk, Spider-Man, and we brought in Venom, a very popular character. That's right. Venom's in this one. Totally forgot.
And he's doing all kinds of weird crap, and I loved it. And we got War Machine as well. He looks like a reskin of Iron Man. I'm sure they took it from another machine. I'm sure he's a reskin of some sort. Wolverine as well.
Trying to find video here of there's War Machine. There's a really cool. It's a cool version of shit. What's his name? You just said his name. The Symbiote Man. Venom.
Oh, Venom. Yeah, Symbiote Man. Venom.
Symbiote Man.
Symbiote Man.
Oh my lord!
You can't go wrong there. Now
Yeah.
you just saw Thor show up in that one scene you just saw. He's not listed as playable character, but he is a new twist on the variable assist. So now you can just call out. You're assigned a particular character. I think they're all unplayable to a certain point.
Yeah,
and then
the cameos are like that in MK1 that they're doing. It's the same thing.
Cameo stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
And so it's way cool. I love Thor showing up and doing some trash.
What do you think of this horse shit where you're fighting a big old robot thing? It's kind of dumb.
It's well, it's one of those large. It's like a backdrop, and you've got. It's a really clever way they do it, but it's your bad guy is larger than the screen, right?
Yeah.
So he only can fit certain parts of his body on stage at a certain time. You have to crash down on it and stuff. So it's pretty cool. That's old Magneto looking. What's his face? From the Marvel universe.
I don't know who that is. That robot is that
That's,
a big, it looks
what
like
the hell is his name?
It looks like a Sentinel, but not a Sentinel.
He kind of looks like a Sentinel, but he's not. Oh, what the? Anyway, there's that guy. He's a crapper.
Look
He's
at
a
this
real crapper.
story they're doing, dude. This is great.
Yeah, all these stories. I mean, one of the in the second game we didn't talk about in Marvel superheroes. That's the Infinity Stone story, right? Isn't that one they?
Oh, is that what they play with? I did not know that.
I
have ignored the story. I will admit, I've ignored.
Yeah,
it
they can't. Please forgive me because these came out 3 years in a row, and I played all of them seriously for the first time over the last 3 days because we just did a show on Saturday, so short week.
Yeah.
But one of them has to do. I think it was the second one that had to do with the Infinity Stones, or maybe it was this one. Anyway, you pick up Infinity Stones in one of these dumb games, which I love, by the way. I call them dumb as affectionate.
No, they're dumb in all the right possible ways. I will not deny that. I think
there's
great.
Rockman's robot dog.
Yep.
Love him.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just a goofball game that
So
deserved this
fun.
whole series is so much fun. It has a huge rabid fan base. If I were you,
and this is where people would have probably first stepped in. So the most popular one of these was this one, the Marvel versus Capcom Clash of Superheroes. We've been talking about the arcade stuff, but there's been some great ports to the Sega Saturn and the PlayStation. Not as good, but they did what they could because they couldn't have all that sprite animation on screen. They just weren't capable of doing it. But yeah, I think all of these were a lot of fun, but
I remember that made no sense back then. It made no sense to players because players are like, well, wait, if you can show this 3D, you can play Metal Gear Solid on here, but you're telling me you can't do a 2D fighting game? Like they couldn't, they could not put two and two together on why the machine was more capable in one way and less in another.
Right. By the way, I just looked over the chat room and they've told us we're idiots. It's on screen. There's like 10 people going screaming, "It's on screen. It's Onslaught." Anyway.
Oh, Onslaught.
Onslaught was the character we were talking about.
Oh, did they show it?
So
I didn't see it.
So now we don't have to have anybody write in.
Yeah. So put your pens down. Class is
put
over.
your pens down. And I apologize. I didn't mean to get distracted either, Scott. I
blame Brian for being sick and having medicine in him.
I'm like all over the place. I can't focus.
That's all right. That's how these things go. I wouldn't feel bad at all. But do yourselves a favor. Find a copy. Play it. It's great. Fantastic stuff. Quick mentions. We mentioned X-Men Children of the Atom and Marvel Superheroes in 95. These are all, lead ups. That's a good way of putting it. These are all things that without them, you don't have what came later. And they're worth playing too, by the way. The Marvel, especially Marvel Superheroes, the 95 game where it's just Marvel characters fighting. It's great.
Right. Super
fun. I like it a lot. I would recommend it. All these.
I recommend it 2 times over.
2 times.
Get on it. I thought about ordering this for the Sega Saturn for my just because I try to collect at least one memento for each week, and I'm not seeing any good prices.
Is it memento or momento?
Momentum. I'm sure.
Daliism. I don't know.
Dollyism. If I order one, should I order you one too?
No, don't do that for me. I mean, if you find a deal,
Sega Saturn. I mean, then you'll have one too, and then we can network. No, you can't do that.
You can't do that with a Saturn. I don't think. You can do that with we can do it with Dreamcast. which is
you know what? They have a Dreamcast version. That's even better. Why didn't I think of that?
the Dreamcast is quickly
so
coming
smart.
back into it's becoming a retro console pretty quick.
Oh yeah, I mean we're at they
hate to admit
killed it. Sega killed the Dreamcast 25 years ago this year, so it would have been 98.
I'm gonna call
when
that
they
retro.
let it go.
Retro
As hell.
Okay, moving on. I don't know why I'm burpy today. I really
So,
apologize.
between me being sick and you being gaseous.
I
and
don't
this
know why
being
I'm
a short
burpy.
week. This has maybe been one of my favorite off the wall episodes.
Sometimes that's fun, right? To do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are at that stage where we are going to now spend some time. What are we doing now? Oh, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do guess my game. That's what we're gonna do. Okay.
Oh yeah, guess my game.
Yeah.
And we have something weird happen this week. So yeah.
We did. So we'll explain.
I hope it's not the same exact game. That would be hilarious.
That would be really funny.
Destroy it.
Because both our games are Genesis 1993, and that's a little
Was
weird.
yours recommended by somebody? Is somebody punking us?
No, I pulled this one out of my butt. So if you got it from somebody else.
Mine was recommended by somebody. So
All right. So we both got Genocide games, 1993 games. I'm going to start with my audio. Brian, you're going to try to check this out. Chat, you're encouraged to participate if you think you know the answer. And here it comes. Here's mine. I'll let this go for a sec.
I think I could have guessed Sega or the Genesis.
Acknowledge.
Oh, acknowledged.
Yeah, cool voices.
Kessler, moving out. Construction.
Sounds like you're tactical. Sounds like a tactical game of some sort.
Okay,
Let's see.
is that
That's
your-
my first game. Is it a tactical game?
It is. Very tactical.
Approaching.
Base under attack.
Base is under attack.
Yeah, base under attack. Any ideas?
Report. Acknowledge.
Goodness knows. Listen, man, it sounds so much like a StarCraft on Genesis, but I don't know. That's not a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about chat's not getting it so far. I thought somebody would get this right away, to be honest.
Reporting. Acknowledge.
You still nothing. Don't know?
Okay, well, let's say. Wait. Thank you.
Chat,
I
it's
got one
not
question. I got two more
Choplifter.
questions, right? I got two more questions.
Let me answer a question you haven't even asked. No, it's
Who's
not
devel-
Choplifter.
Go ahead, okay.
It's definitely not Choplifter. All right, go ahead.
Who's the developer?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me look that up.
That's fine. That's why I always had to pull the thing up because I'm like, oh, I know everything about this game. I'm like, oh shit, I don't know that.
Let's see if I can find it. I'm looking for. There it is. Okay, this is by developer. Oh, it's gonna give it away. Shit. Published by Virgin Interactive, developed by
There you go.
Westwood Studios.
Westwood Studios. Oh shit, what is this? We just talked about this.
Reporting
Crap.
for duty.
Is it based in sci-fi?
Yes, that is correct. You have one question left.
Shit. I know that, but I knew that, but I just can't freaking think of what it is. I can see the game in my head.
Yeah.
I know what it is. I can't pull the title out though.
Yeah.
Okay, tactical Westwood.
Yeah.
And it is a futuristic game.
Yeah.
Is Westworld.
Let's double check. Let me double check. Maybe it is. Maybe it's Westworld. Hold on.
Not even close.
Let's see. No, it's not Westworld at all. The game is Dune: Battle for Arrakis on the Genesis, as opposed to Dune 2, which was the one that
course.
everyone really points to. But that's also Westworld. There's a follow-up. But yeah, this is based on Dune. You know what you should have done? Your other question
not
should
what
have
I thought
been
it was,
based
though.
on a big IP or whatever you should have said.
Yeah, I did. It's not what I thought it was. So I don't even know what I was thinking apparently. So
It's good though. I played a bit of it today. That game holds up. It's fun.
that's
You know?
awesome.
And it's considered the first real, marketed real-time strategy game before RTS was a term. It's pretty cool, right?
I'm down with that. Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, big fan. Big fan.
I'm looking at it now. I like this.
Yeah, it's top down. You know, it's a build shit, send your army out to do stuff. It looks ugly, but this was a big deal at the time.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, plays pretty good on a D-pad, which I was worried about, because that's how it was played back then.
Yeah.
But it's
I
really
like
good.
D-pad strategy. It's not, especially on the if the squares are large enough, which they appear to be here.
Yep. And without this, where's your Command and Conquer? It doesn't exist. You don't have it.
Yeah. That's what I kept wanting to think. I knew it had to be. I kept thinking like Command and Conquer, but I couldn't think of anything that would have fit this.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Big fan. All right, Brian. The year is 1993. The Sega Genesis.
Year is 1993. You're also back in the Sega Genesis. Maybe you pulled out your Dune game and you said, I want to play this next.
Okay. All right. Got next, I said, with my cartridge in hand.
Next.
Here's what I heard. I don't know what this is. All right. Based on... Oh my gosh, dude. Did Sega make this?
No, this is it's published by Sega.
Yeah.
So it's one of their little published by, but it's Climax
Climax
Entertainment.
Is it based on a popular IP of some sort? Book, game?
There were a few of these, I believe. So I wouldn't necessarily say, so I wouldn't say it's a hugely popular IP, but it's not unheard of either. It's not like one and done, isolated.
Cartoony or serious?
So it is more cartoony. Matter of fact, you would probably think, oh, is this animated cartoon? And what is this thing? Is it based on some kind of animated cartoon or something? Because it kind of feels like that. But don't let that get confused you too much. I'll give you another question.
Really? You'll give me a bonus question?
Yeah, I'll give you a bonus because that was kind of...
Was it a Sega Genesis exclusive? Or could I get this on SNES and other
that's
things?
a good question. I think it was a Sega Genesis exclusive. Yes, confirmed. I'm only seeing it being released on the Sega Genesis. And this was recommended by us, by someone, and I'm trying to find it in my Twitter feed as we speak.
Oh, this isn't the one with the artist from Run to the Hills. I can't think of their names. Iron Maiden. This isn't the Iron Maiden artist that did Eddie the Beast and stuff, right? This isn't that.
No, I don't. Did he? I don't know. I don't think so.
Chakra.
I don't think so. I mean,
Shit.
I would be it'd be news to me if he was.
No, that's the name of the game. Chakra.
Oh, no, that is not the name. That's not it. No.
I give up.
Oh, what'd
then.
you call it?
Shocker.
Oh, Shocker. I know. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. No. It's definitely
not that?
It's not
Okay.
that. No.
I'm out of ideas. I'll say, here's my answer. This is Choplifter.
Choplifter is absolutely correct. It is Choplifter, the treasure of King Noel. No, it is. It is Landstalker.
I never even heard of that. What is Landstalker?
Yeah. Landstalker. I've played it briefly. I have had several people ask me to play it. A much beloved game for the Sega Genesis, and there was a follow-up, a spinoff called Lady Stalker, which I love. By the way,
that's great.
I love that you got a Landstalker, but then you have a Lady Stalker.
Oh, okay. So this was a Genesis.
It was exclusive, I think.
But the spinoff, Lady Stalker, went to Super Nintendo as well, and the Saturn.
Right, and they made some games later too. This company for the Sega Saturn, and they did some stuff for the
Time
PlayStation,
Stalkers. Remember Time Stalkers? I remember that.
Yeah.
The Wii's Virtual Console, you could play it on there. PlayStation Portable. Oh, it got canceled on the PSP. Was supposed to get it, and they canceled it. I don't remember this. Is it still fun? Is it a good time?
I did not play it. I've only watched video of people playing it, and I love the cover art. If you haven't seen it, our character here, he's very proud of his crotch. He is definitely presenting.
Yeah, look at that. He's into that cod, not even a cod piece.
Yeah.
I don't know what
he's like, look at it. I'm
You
just
guys-
gonna beat all y'all with my flaming sword in this castle age type setting in. I'm definitely not Link from Zelda.
Yep. Look at my. He's like Link on steroids. He's got a big old groin. It's gnarly.
Big old groin.
Is this what this was to compete with? Was this meant to be like a Zelda competitor?
I think it's meant to be in the style of a Zelda, right? I don't necessarily think it was a Zelda because it was the 3/4 perspective. So it's, but it's definitely got that vibe to it, right?
Yeah,
it's definitely got a Zelda vibe.
I'm very curious about this. Oh, that's a speedrunner. I don't want that.
I don't want it. I need to see it.
I want to see.
You're running too fast.
I want to see some video. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, dude, these guys are trying to make a Zelda ripoff. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this little Zelda man running around. It's fun though, eh? It's supposed to be good.
Everybody says it's good. Everybody I talked to said you got to play it.
I'm gonna play it.
I think it's good.
Let's see. Let's just look at I'm gonna look at my. I got my Amber Nick right here.
Let's pull our Amber Nicks out real quick and see if we have Landstalker on the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Did I show you this last time when we were doing? Did I show you my little stand for my little?
Yeah, your little balls
controller.
Yeah, little ball holders.
Balls.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Does it stay? Does it hold up?
Almost. Oh yeah. Oh, you probably seen my earlier prototype. There's only one more thing I got to do to this one, and it should be perfect. And then I'll either send you the print or I'll send you some prints. We'll also make it available for people to download if you got those Amber Nicks.
Hell yeah.
RG35XXs.
Everybody seemed to went and get one. It's annoying as hell.
Yeah, getting a lot of stuff. So we need to. Yeah, we got to like tighten up our. Like put a spot in our community for it.
We got to tighten up the graphics on level 3 because I need another game designed. Yeah. Okay, wait. What's the name of this? Landstalker, right?
Landstalker.
All right, I'm looking it up right now. Oh, it's on here. Sweet. Landstalker. I'm going to favorite that.
I'm favoriting that. Putting that right next to Grimace's birthday.
I'm gonna. Why is it on slow motion? Okay, wait.
Oh, I meant to send you. Also got. I did the CPS, the Capcom System 2 games. I meant to send you. An update to that.
Climax Entertainment, eh? That's a suggestive name.
Entertainment.
Here you go. Here's some sound. Oh wait. New game start. Oh, hear that?
I heard it.
Oh, look at that little animated feller.
Yeah. Oh, there's there's Landstalker, and then there's some kind of DLC, maybe some. Okay, I see it. Never mind.
Yeah, you hear that? All right, I'll play this game later. Actually, I'm gonna pause.
I liked mine. I liked it on mine as well.
Oh, look at that. Oh, this looks like a good time. All right.
So good on you, and I'll try to figure out who it was that sent me that. It was about a week ago.
Yeah, let me know. I'm very curious about this one. Looks like you can fill up a ton of hearts, so there's a lot of reason to... Oh, look at that. Wow. Okay. This looks like fun. I'm itching for games like this right now, so... and I always feel bad. I feel like Sega never had their killer RPG. But, you know, things like... what do you call it for? We've talked about it. We had a whole show about it. I can't think of anything right now. Names.
We just had the whole show. That's all. Just the whole show about it. What
was it?
I mean, we just talked about it for an hour and a half.
They have an online game that everybody thinks is good. It was on the GameCube as well. It was
weeks
online.
Ago,
what the hell is that called?
It's called
Phantasy Star 4.
Oh, Phantasy Star. Okay, I didn't know what you were talking about.
That's as close as you get to like a proper turn-based JRPG on that damn device.
Yeah,
pisses me off. All right, well there you have it. Well done, all involved. All right, we did guess our game. I'm so out.
We
of
did
it
guess
too.
our
Why
game.
Why are we both so out of it?
We both did poorly. We both failed, didn't we?
You have an excuse. You're sick and you're on medication. I'm just losing it. That's where I'm at. All right, let's do this.
Welcome to the treasure room.
All right, here's the fun thing. I forgot to put this in here. Hold on.
Daniel, by the way, was who recommended that game.
Oh, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel.
Do we know Daniel from the last name or we don't want to?
Daniel Ben is his username on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, he's part of the community, but I'm not sure if he's got another handle.
You think that's like his real name is Daniel, or is it Ben?
Idea.
It might be Ben.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he's not. We didn't like friend each other on PlayStation and then say reveal real name or anything.
Sure.
So I don't know.
Here is Luis Lopez, who wrote in via email.
Oh, yeah.
He says the following. He says, "Hey guys, you can play a port of Wolfenstein on the Mii U Mini Plus and probably the RG35XX. Well, you're right. The SNES version's on there, but I don't think you can play Can you play a DOS thing on there? I don't know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got mine set up to play DOS, but I don't know if we set yours up to do that. That was something I had to learn later on.
I think you did that later. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll do this. I'll send you an update. I'll send you an update pack to
updates. I like updates.
Extract.
Updates are great.
Mm-hmm.
He also says, or this.
I think there's actually, and I think they may be referring to there is a standalone port, which I think you can download up rg35xx.com. If you go to the English, I believe that's one of the ports. Let me take a look here. I'll confirm. They got a Diablo on there. I'll send you the link here in a minute. They got Blood. They got a Duke Nukem. Redneck Rampage, which is also adjacent to the game we talked about at Mario 64. Oh yeah, there's a Wolfenstein 3D. I'm going to send it to you. That's ports, and I'll put that in the Discord for a later consumption.
Nice. All right, Roland wrote in one final email.
Roland
says, "Awesome show. Thanks for all the hard work and information in the show. I started gaming with Tomb Raider on the PlayStation 1 and 2. Or no, I'm sorry, on the PlayStation 1 and 2 eras. I think he means the PlayStation, not the game. Anyway, whenever I hear the opening screen music and gameplay, I get goosebumps from my childhood and discovering 3D graphics for the first time in my life in my preteens. I've beaten Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 over and over again. I'm not sure if 1990s constitutes a proper retro status for your show or not, but if it does, I would appreciate a full show and thoughts on Tomb Raider, the early years. Again, thanks for the show and your time, Roland. 100% it fits. 100%.
Yeah. And I thought about that was another one of the games that I was rolling around in my head was Tomb Raider, the early years for this next week. But I think we kind of decided to go in a different direction.
We did, but we'll come back. We'll swing around, Roland.
Yeah, we'll swing around. We'll back around this area again soon.
Yep. Send us your emails, playretroshow@gmail.com.
I posted
do it.
that
And speaking of which, dude. Oh, you did? Thank you.
Yeah.
Speaking of next week, we are going to talk about the Panzer Dragoon saga because we're a little bit in the mood to say, I don't know, talk more about what the hell happened in the to the Saturn. It's a bummer.
The end times of the Saturn, and why not visit another game that I didn't know a lot about?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I played the first one a ton. It was supposed to save the Saturn.
Yeah,
it didn't.
and guess what?
But it was supposed to.
Yeah. It did not.
It was supposed to. It just didn't. So we'll talk about why it didn't and what its legacy is otherwise, and maybe where it's at today, because it's in places you may not be even aware of right now.
It's on your Samsung refrigerator right now.
That's right. I think Smash Brothers should introduce a Panzer Dragoon character and fight this giant freaking lizard bird. I think that'd be cool. But anyway, so look forward to that. 95, 96, 98, all of the Panzer Dragoon games and what they meant for Sega and their last gasps as a console manufacturer. And that is going to do it for this week's show. A reminder that we are supported by you and your good graces. And you might say, well, Scott, how is that even possible? And my answer to you would be, it's not just possible. It's freaking easy. All you have to do is head on over to patreon.com/playretro. Okay? You just go there. And when you do go there, you can be like the following people. You can be like, I'm waiting for it to load, Kelly Snow, Craig Watson, Chris B., Steve Maines, Troy Press, Vanderson74, and John Nelson. You can be like them. Some of our most recent amazing people who, by the way, get lots of benefits for being there, like no commercials ever, pre-show content every week, monthly benefits that you can only find out by checking that out. All right? What's this Frogger Beyond thing? Oh, that's from weeks ago. You don't copy our template, do you? You just copy our last episode notes.
Yeah, right? I copy wherever the last thing was because our template is so out of date right now. I did to everything.
Hey, whatever works, man. We get it done. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Because but at the very bottom of this, it says, I don't know what's below this because I've never looked. It says, don't look, Brian. Secret shit for Scott.
That's from a
long
long
I don't even know what's
ago.
down there. So
let's look at it. Is there a?
I'm afraid you've put some, some dick pics down there.
It's back when I. It's for when I put Advance Wars as my guess my game. It's a long time ago.
Copying that over for like 50 episodes.
Yeah, let's just delete that now. Boop, it's gone now. It's out of.
But I'm always afraid every time I see it, I know I got to stop when I get to that little line. I'm like, oh, stop.
Yeah, fair point. Well, anyway, that is going to do it for us. Big thanks for checking out the show this week, and we hope to see you right back here next week if you can. If you can't, we understand too, but we'd love to have you, and there's always a reason to be here. All right? So get your retro on during this week. Go play something retro, and we'll see you next time.
Hadouken! Hadouken!
Get more at frogpants.com.
X-Men versus Street Fighter! This is X-Men versus Street Fighter!
Love it. Love it. Also love